class, we're working on our audio assignments for this upcoming audio project where you're doing a podcast. And I know some of you haven't edited before, so I'm going to walk you through the same demonstration that we did in class so that you can review this, and hopefully it'll help you with your audio editing for this assignment. So by now, as you're starting your editing process, you should have already done your interview and recorded it and be ready to import your audio file. So the next step you need to take is you open Adobe Audition, and if you don't have Audition already on your computer, you can download it from the IUWare website. Just do a Google search for IUWare, and like as in software, and you should be able to pull it up pretty quickly. Just download the Adobe Production Suite, and Audition will be included in that. So once you have it set up, and if you don't get it from IUWare, you can use one of the IT journalism computer labs in the IT building. So once you get Audition set up on your computer, you're just going to want to go and start a new multi-track session. And once you have your multi-track session started, just name it something for your class project. And select the folder that you want to put it in. If you don't have that folder already created on your desktop, you can just name it here and it'll just ask to create the folder for you. And then select down here under where you see master. If you've recorded this on your iPhone, you may run into a trouble importing your audio into the master track because it might be recording it in mono, which typically means that you recorded it with only one microphone. And so if you create a master track that's in stereo, Audition may not like it. It may give you an error message. So if you get that case, if you have the trouble when you're trying to import your audio, start a new multi-track session and just check to see if your settings are to mono, and you can just or stereo, and you can just change that setting to match that clip that you have, and that should correct it. So once you've got it set up and okay, it's going to say that your folder doesn't exist if it's a new folder, so just hit yes, and that'll be perfectly fine. And now once you have your multi-track session, you're going to have a folder up here that's going to have all the clips that you're going to import, and you're going to have your different tracks over here where you'll actually be mixing your audio. So go ahead and import your audio file from the interview that you've done for your Q&A. I'm going to use a file that we have used in class. And once you've got it, that file imported, just drag it over to your tracks. I usually like to use one of the alternate tracks, one of the like track 2 or track 3, and I save my track 1 for when I'm clipping my audio files and finding the sections of those audio files that I want to use in my final track. I'll clip those out of here and I'll move them up here. Now, one thing to note, Audition doesn't seem to like, if you've recorded your interview on an iPhone, Audition doesn't seem to like the typical Apple iTunes format MP4. It might reject it when you try and import it. If that's the case, there's an easy way to convert. Just go to iTunes, select import your audio track into your iTunes library, select it, right-click on it, and you can go down to Create MP3 Version. And that'll create an MP3 that you can then go into your iTunes folder and pull out that file and import that into Audition. If you see something differently than Create MP3 Version, you may just need to change a setting in iTunes. If you go to your Preferences and to Import Settings, you can see right here, you can change the encoder that is being used in your iTunes. So you can change this so that it'll import to MP3. Once you have your file set and you've got it imported, you're going to want to start listening to the file and start cutting up the clips to get the clips that you want that best answer the questions that you have in your Q&A, and do it in the most clear and concise manner. You're going to want to cut out any sidebar sentences that people have, any ums or different phrases that are confusing, or just kind of get away from the clearest answer that you have. You want to try and edit this down to being tight and easy to understand, and you want to keep it from becoming too long so that you can keep your reader engaged, or your listener engaged. So if you hit the equal key, you can zoom in on your audio file, and you can see where you can get down to the waveform for this. You can also go up to waveform up here, and you can work very specifically with this track if you want to be able to see exactly where some of these clips are, but you won't be able to cut up the file in this. You have to do that in the multi-track editor here, and you'll see this razor clip up here. This is going to allow you to cut that clip up as you go through. So select your razor when you're ready. Zoom in on the file as much as you can so that you can see where the breaks in the conversation are. You want to look for these areas like in here where the conversation is very flat. That's going to be a pause in between comments. So as you're listening to your clip and you see something that you want to be able to clip out, you want to be able to look for a pause, or somewhere where somebody like took a breath or took a break in their conversation, and you want to cut it there. So once you find that, cut it and cut it. And once you have this cut here set, you can go up and get your pointer tool. You can click and you can drag it up to your top track. And then you can delete the other sections around it that you don't want to use. And don't worry if you cut something and you realize, oh gosh, I wish I had gotten something. I cut it a little too soon. Or maybe you feel like you didn't cut it on the pause as well as you could have. Don't worry, you can still move over to the edge of it and you can pull it out, and the rest of the track is still preserved there. It's just creating a splice that you can then move around and manipulate apart from the rest of the track. But you can still pull out the rest of the track in case you made a mistake. Now once you have your track set up, the next step you're going to have to do on this assignment is you're going to have to record an intro and an outro. And this is a very easy thing to do in Audition. You just need to go up to File and create a new audio file. And you're going to want to name it. And when you name it, it's going to, after you record this, it's going to appear in this folder here along with all your other clips. So name your file, hit OK. You're going to get this screen. Now all you have to do here is if you're using a computer with a microphone that's built into it, which most computers are these days, just go down to record and just hit record. This is my intro track to my J540 assignment. Hit stop. And now you have a track here. Just go back to your multi-track tab. You'll see your file is now located right in here. Click it over, drag it into your editor, and now you're going to want to just basically move these files together so that there isn't a break in the action here. So now when you play it, you can see.
Stop. No, you can post on the website. Okay.
They're running together and they sound like there's a natural break. If you leave too much of a gap there and you export your file, that gap is going to stay there. So make sure that you move all these clips together so that they're bumping up against one another. Now, once you get this whole track lined out and you're ready, you think you've got this finished up and you're ready to export the final version, you're going to want to go up under Clip, and you want to select Match Clip Volume. Now what this does is it's going to even out the sound levels on all of your clips so that even though you've recorded them in different places, in different environments, it will level them out so that the sound is all the same, so that you don't have a clip that sounds really loud bumping up against a clip that might sound quieter just because the distance of the microphone to your subject was different, or because the acoustics in the room were different. This will level that all out so that everything sounds like it's all even. So this ITU BS, that's perfectly fine. That'll even out the clips. And now once you're ready, select File, Export, and export a multi-track mixdown for the entire session. And you're going to get this. Make sure you're exporting it as an MP3. Select the folder that you want to export it into and hit OK. So you now have created your file, your audio track that you're going to use on your blog. But the problem is WordPress does not allow you to import an audio file directly into the CMS. The free version doesn't anyway. I believe the paid version does. But what we're using for this class, you have to take an extra step. So you're going to use a service called SoundCloud, which is basically the audio version of YouTube. So you want to go to soundcloud.com and you'll want to create a free account. And once you've created your account, you'll see this tab up here that says Upload. Select Upload, choose your file to be uploaded, and you're going to want to select your file. Now this is going to start uploading it, and once you've got it finished, and it might take a few minutes to be able to get the whole thing done, just hit save. So here's my file. It's already set to go. Here's the URL for it. This is what you're going to want to copy and paste this out. And once you have your URL, just go to your website, go down to blog posts and select add. And all you're going to need to be able to finish this off is just type in your title and give it a better description than that, please. But select add media. And you're going to want to go over to insert from URL. And just paste your URL in here and embed it. And once you've got it embedded here, it should just hit publish and it'll show up on your site just like an embedded video will. So this should give you all the basics that you need to be able to create your file and get it uploaded. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me or give me a call and I'll be happy to walk you through it. Otherwise, I will see you in class.